Friends, hope you are all doing well. Welcome to another episode of the Pathbreakers. Today we are talking to one of the most enterprising person that I've ever met. Back in 2012, when we may not have heard in India the co-working culture. Those days, if I can recollect well, there were business centers. You know, the she was a pioneer in starting something as co-working in Mumbai. Before all the WeWorks and others came up, she was there already. Let's talk to her and understand what are the difficulties, what are the ups and downs that she has seen in last 12 years. How did this idea catch up? क्या था? What was the logic?
So the story, I feel, of most businesses, it stems from a sense of personal need. What it was is that I was running a smaller business around education, teaching engineering students.
Acha.
And I met somebody who was also doing some kind of workshops and things like that. But we didn't have a place to just sit and work. And we would work out of coffee shops, we would work out of different places in Bombay. पर वो बात ही नहीं आ रही थी. It was very distracting. And then we found this space which was lying vacant. It was an office space.
Okay.
So we thought, let's for our sake come here and have a more professional setup for working, and also open it up to others who would like to work from here. So that's how it started. Although back in the day, the term co-working was not very well known.
Right.
It was really hard to explain to anybody what I was doing, especially my grandmom. She is like, "तो इतनी बड़ी office में तू अकेली बैठ के क्या कर रही है?" And I was like, "Dude, it's we didn't know the word co-working." So yeah, in fact, the other big players helped us with the language, with the vocabulary to explain what this business is.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Engineering. So how was it?
How was my
Engineering and all this, because we know nowadays so all engineers become IT people. So whether you are doing civil or you end up coding only.
It's just life takes you in different places. I did try being a techie. I was working in the Bay Area for a startup there for some time. And it was a good life. I had a lovely orange Mini Cooper, fancy beach life, driving on Saturday, Sunday, tech coding on usual days. It was a good life. But I couldn't visualize or imagine myself sitting behind a screen for majority part of my life. No matter how exciting it was too isolating for me.
Okay.
And I missed India, so I came back and ate my chapati, dal chawal, which is my staple, which I like. So yeah.
Every Indian simply loves that.
Yeah, exactly. Hard to
However fancy food you have, you can.
Correct.
Until unless
खाना तो अपना खाना है ना.
दाल राइस नहीं मिला तो खाना खत्म नहीं होता है.
मजा नहीं आता है. कितना सैंडविच खाएंगे.
So nice. So business wise challenges कैसा था? And do you, of course I need not to say कि business personality को challenges नहीं आते हैं. Every day is a new day, every day is a new challenge, every moment there is something sprung up, अरे ये करना है, अरे वो है, But anything major that you found? Lockdown को छोड़ देते हैं, वो सबका ही problem था.
Yeah, lockdown was, yeah.
But otherwise,
what were the business challenges? In fact, business challenges तो आते रहते हैं. There we are still facing quite a few challenges. Initially, the challenge was to get people to come to our space. Because as I said earlier, co-working was not a known brand, not a known field in itself. People didn't know कि ऐसा कुछ होता है. So that once we would have people over, it would be like, I still remember the early days कि ऐसा बड़ी office and it was just me sitting and maybe one more person, और कोई आया तो ऐसे लगता है कि अच्छा अभी हम यहाँ ऐसे शांति में काम करेंगे अकेले में, कोई और है नहीं. It's like that feeling you get when you go to a restaurant और कोई नहीं है, तो अभी तुम खाओगे कि नहीं खाओगे, like that question.
हाँ तो रेस्टोरेंट वाला भी सोचेगा कि देखो कोई आया है.
So it was that. So initially that was the challenge, how to attract people to come and work out of here. Once we kind of got a critical mass, then people started coming in and seeing that there is definitely a value that we provide and that they would benefit from. So tabhi hua. The next challenge, and I still think is one of my personal challenges, is to get the right people.
Okay.
It's not just about hiring, it's about knowing what we need as a business, identifying that, and then sort of creating that profile, then seeking that kind of a person from the pool of people available, and then marrying this idea of what we need to what that person brings in, motivating, inspiring, and making sure that that person stays on board and is himself or herself growing. So I feel like that is my current challenge. It's been 12 years since we've been around, but I personally don't think I've like figured that thing out. And I think that is the key to most businesses. When you have a solid team, then most of the things are like easier. The other challenges are easier to solve.
So back then you were a pioneer when the co-working business started. So how do you think over the years the business has evolved or changed? What changes do you see currently in the co-working space business?
So co-working in general, as I said, when we started, ये तो कुछ था ही नहीं co-working. But clearly in Bombay, what happens is that space is a premium. जगह नहीं है.
Right.
हम work from home बोलते हैं, पर home पे कहाँ जगह है? Typically not so much. So how the co-working industry has shifted is more and more people. One is more and more people want to do something of their own.
Right.
Be it freelancing, be it starting your own business, be it working remote. So for all of those people, they are looking for like a more professional setup than their home. Second, the hybrid model has really boosted this industry because now the idea that you can work away from your office is not just acceptable but almost celebrated and encouraged in some spaces. Although some offices are calling people back.
Right.
So this second thing where it's okay to work away from your official workspace has given a big boost to the industry. So these are the two key things. The third thing is far more subtle, which is people are actually looking for a community. People want to step out and meet, other like-minded people.
Right.
And have an engagement which is meaningful, which often in the online world, they may not feel that satisfied with those interactions.
Absolutely.
So here, whenever we have festival celebrations, be it Holi, be it Diwali, whenever we host our events, workshops, poetry night, music night, we see a lot of people come just for the sheer joy of कि यार एक दूसरे से बात कर सकते, मिल सकते और साथ में कुछ enjoy कर सकते.
True.
So that is a third thing which earlier families, extended families, and let's say religious groups, temples, communities there were a lot more of those. Now it's far more nuclear. So abhi wo sab opportunities come hai in the actual society for people to engage. So then they look for it in such community spaces. So that's the third reason why I feel co-working is more meaningful.
One thing that I feel from a co-working space benefit is that you have a very good network of people around.
Yes.
बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि मुझे कोई डेवलपर चाहिए, मैं बाहर ढूंढ रहा हूँ, मुझे पता नहीं कि 2 डेस्क छोड़ के ही कोई डेवलपर बैठा है.
अरे बिल्कुल, like he and I are co-workers, हम ऐसे ही मिले हैं, right? I learned quite a bit from Jayesh. I'm imagining he learned from me.
Of course.
When you are, you're absolutely right. That when you sit with the people of diverse backgrounds in the same space, day after day, month after month, you share a bond and you learn a lot more from these different professionals.
Are you worried about the competition? Because it's growing very, and because the investments are coming from far and beyond. So are you worried?
Yes. Worry is something I'm trying to stay away from in my life in general.
Okay.
Worry
So
doesn't
that
help.
Energy comes into
Worry
picture
का
where
क्या
you
है?
want to keep energy inside.
Worry is
and
the
worry
fear
away.
of being afraid. It's like worry से क्या होगा? So I'm not worried. I am mindful that there's competition. Particularly in my space, what I think of is that I'm not so attached to the business in a sense that I think of it as an objective entity that is existing. If there are more players in the market, maybe things and the equilibrium will shift. And such is life. Like our truck drivers afraid and worried that there are more automated cars. I don't know. They are driving the truck,
Focus on what they are doing.
जो चल रहा है, you do the best and let's see what happens. The more we look out and worry कि अरे war हो रहा है, अरे competition आ रहा है, depression, impression, तो ये सब तो हो गया, reel पे कितने like मिले, ये सब सोचते रहेंगे तो हम actual content.
So like you said, aptly said, reel में कितने like मिलेंगे, worried about that.
But एक चीज ये भी है ना कि competition helps you improve your performance. That is one thing that is a positive outcome of competition.
You are an artist yourself. I think you draw very well. You have a very good artistic approach. I mean, I really admire that. Is inbuilt है या फिर you have taken it up in a very professionally doing something, learning it, and then coming up to this, or how is it?
And this is a tricky question. I think we are all artists. We just think that people who frame things and put it on the wall are artists. But art is like how we live life is art. They say like life is your biggest canvas and you're painting as you go. So no, I haven't been trained, but I like exploring creativity in general, be it music, be it pen and paper, be it writing, be it in fact even outdoor fitness and hiking. I think of those things as like art in itself, and you can express all of those things in a certain way.
Last hiking you said, where was it? What is the most adventurous that you have done?
The most adventurous hike, okay, the most adventurous hike was like a 20,000 feet Himalayan mountain.
Wow, where?
In Nepal.
Awesome.
Yeah, that one was a bit challenging.
You went with a group or alone?
You know, with a group.
Achha.
Everyone goes with a group. So to summit, you need a group, and you're roped up, your legs are tight, so that every time you walk and everyone is taking the same step, so that koi ek jan gir gaya, then everyone can hold on and make sure that no one slips into a crevasse. So that's a Himalayan hike, yeah.
I was watching something, and they went to the other side, north side.
Huh.
The temperature was so bad, and the oxygen was absolutely very less, and then this person was like not able to stand, and despite having a cylinder and everything, and this guy is very young, he's not like old, he can, but wearing 3 or 4 suits and everything. So I'm just wondering, I mean, I'm very curious because I cannot stand that temperature. I was once somewhere in Northern Ireland and I could feel the chill in my spine. That was a kind of, I cannot stand that. So how, I mean, this requires a lot of training, or how is it? I mean, it is difficult, isn't it?
Yes, it is definitely a challenge. It is a physical challenge, and just as much as that, it's a mental challenge. When you said the temperature was really bad, what do you mean as temperature was low? Thandi zyada hai. So, and then there is equipment and gear which helps you combat that cold. So we are blessed to be in an age where the kind of equipment and gear we have is so superior to what climbers had about 20, 30, 40 years ago. So with that kind of gear and with the mental strength and some sort of physical training, it's possible to do this. Of course, even the young and fit people can face altitude challenges like when the oxygen level is low. But that's what you find out. And then if it doesn't work, you retreat. But everything else, if you're positive, what you get to explore and experience is something you can explore and experience only at those heights, in those realms where you're alone in nature and you realize how profound it is and how petty you are.
Somebody just says that, the view kills all the hard work when you reach on the peak, right?
So when you said about working together on those hikes and being together and working as a team, so does this understanding or learning help you in your business as such?
Yes, always it does. In fact, all sorts of outdoor adventure, I feel like I take the lessons and I bring it back to life in general, and work is a big part of life. So yes, teamwork, there it is even more critical. यहाँ क्या होता है, if somebody makes a mistake or if something goes wrong, typically it's a financial cost or somebody is unhappy.
Right.
The stakes when you're in the mountain, and if you make a mistake, they are much higher. So you're far more conscious, far more aware to make sure that you are bringing the whole team together, and you're not being opportunistic. You're not only thinking of yourself. You're thinking of everybody.
Right. So it's not just your life which is at stake, but also the people who are connected.
Yeah,
to you.
they are going to help you if you fall, and you better help them if they fall. So it's a very literal, direct, transactional thing, but also a sense of team spirit.
Right.
You are starting one more premise, I
That's
think.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
How is it going? कैसा चल रहा है? It's more vibrant than this. This is of course much vibrant, but
this is a more like a simpler space. That one will be on the 17th floor of a new commercial tower, so it's going to have a very different vibe.
Formal, more
formal, let's say, more professional, more like in the midst of a corporate setup. So
Right.
yes, it's going to be different. we'll see between these two spaces. We think we will sort of address the different kinds of people who would like, some like very professional, great view, 17th floor, things like that. Some like the mom and pop shop, कि यार ये अपने दोस्त है, कैरम खेलते हैं, chill करते हैं, ऐसा. So this is more like that. Work is done wherever you want to, you can work.
Yeah.
But these are the different vibes that we will.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So where is it placed?
It's in Mulund itself.
Mulund itself.
Yes.
Oh,
Awesome. Awesome.
In Marathon Millennium, it's a new commercial tower that's coming up.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, Gargi, we are here with you since last 4 years now?
Do you remember how many years?
3.5 years now.
Oh, how precise.
Finance, numbers,
so fair.
kitna, you know, so till now I think we are very, you know, so morning I was sitting with somebody and he was saying कि vibe मस्त है ना, मैं बोला vibe की वजह से ही हम लोग इधर है, you know, our other office has more staff than, you know, हाँ, sit here, so
अच्छा.
the other office we have around 11 people sitting.
I see.
So I said it's not about that, vibe के लिए ही है and we like it to be here and I come here once or
We're
twice a
happy
week.
to have you here.
Yeah.
I
So-
remember our first interaction.
Yeah.
3 of you coming and asking me for like the negotiation. It was hard. I was like, yaar, itne numbers, 3 men just walking in. So what is the best you can do? I was like, okay, what do you want? And like, we'll be on this option, that option. We will pay in advance. We may not pay in advance. We'll pay 50% in advance. सबका अभी का अभी मैच करके दो. I was
ये
like,
काट दो please.
ये काटेंगे क्यों?
वो सबका अपना अपना forte है ना, negotiation dance.
Yeah. But I learned a lot. I will never forget. That was the most interesting.
And I am really sorry that I taught her because she is now applying that to me
So it
also.
backfired kind of.
Backfired. No, she is one of the best person to deal with because one thing is guaranteed that she will ensure that what she is, you know, saying.
No, that though even I can feel.
She will, of course, she will not go back कि अरे ये नहीं बोला था, you know, those kind of.
Yeah, and I'm really happy that we have you on board because really that did teach me a lot, and you all were very particular about what you wanted and what you could pay, and also the vibe you bring in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, but somebody when I know are there with you since last 5, 6, 7 years. People are really, you know, very, very happy.
Yeah.
Your energy probably. ज़्यादा तारीफ नहीं करूँगा. Of course, I
ज़्यादा
want
नहीं,
something
yeah.
out of it.
I don't know. People gravitate towards what works for them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, apart from this, what's your plan? Apart from expanding now, what's your plan?
Apart from co-working.
What's happening next?
What's happening next? What I personally want to do is create an offline platform for artists and for performers, for chess players, for gamers in general to come offline and connect and create a sort of club where people with diverse interests can come and meet. So we have book clubs, we have hula hoop clubs, we have clubs from fitness to art to tech to learning.
Wow.
तो ये सारी चीजें एक साथ करके, you know, to create like a vibe of people who like to do this, vibe of entrepreneurs, a cult of entrepreneurs and artists and sort of rebels. Because they don't get like सब लोग वही घिसी पीटी जिंदगी जी रहे हैं. So this can be like that community where थोड़ा धमाल मस्ती and be yourself. So that's what.
You get enough time for all these things?
I think this is the priority. The question is, should I put time into other things?
अच्छा होगा.
Other things तो चल रहा है यार, cabins है, desks है, team है, लोग आ रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं, वो लोग काम कर रहे हैं, वो तो बना रहेगा.
हमको भी सिखाओ ना how to do that, you know, auto pilot mode पे चलना है.
ये balance वाली जो बात
Because
है ये सीखने जैसी है.
यहाँ पे तो थोड़ा सा distraction हुआ तो वो नजर हटी दुर्घटना घटी वाली स्टोरी है, you know, how that is this bad for us. It takes 6 days of our week and sometimes even 7th day. So, but this I am now taking out time for podcast.
You're taking time for yourself to do other things.
Yeah, थोड़ा बहुत connect with people and all.
वही तो है.
Otherwise there is no
कुछ लेके नहीं गए, कुछ लेके नहीं जाना है तो करते करते यही गाड़ी चलाते रहेंगे दुर्घटना के डर से. दुर्घटना हो जाएगी फिर राम राम.
नहीं, और इतना करने के बाद भी दुर्घटना होती ही है, ऐसा
क्या
नहीं कि रुक
फायदा?
जाती
उससे
है.
अच्छा थोड़ा मस्ती कर लेते, वार्तालाप कर
दुर्घटना
लेते,
तो
दो
होके ही
बातें
रहती
कर
है.
लेते.
True.
ये तो बात सही है.
So what led you to do this podcast series? How come you all have begun this?
Let him answer first. Yeah.
So what happened is we were just sitting one day and Jayesh told me कि बहुत business कर रहे हैं, let's do something which we are interested in. So I said कि I'm interested in having conversation with people, business conversations. That is the only interest that I have.
Nice.
So he said then when we want to have some conversation, let's do it in front of camera. थोड़ा सा करते हैं, ट्राई करते हैं, and that is how it was decided within 15 minutes कि बस करना है ऐसा कुछ.
So I have a habit of like if I decide something immediately, like for that shifting here also was like 10-second decision. Frankly, मतलब we were far away having big office and all those things. Nikhil said यार जम नहीं रहा है, मेरे को भी नहीं जम रहा है, let's move. Then we drove off, said कि चलो चलते हैं. While driving we said Mulund, let's go back to Mulund. We were in Mulund only, so चलो करते हैं. So for me, if I decide, I will just jump on it. कर लेंगे, whatever it is. बाद में देखा जाएगा जो होगा होगा. So that's as he said, it was.
That's what. So I told you it was decided within 15 minutes कि ये करना है. And then we just jumped into it कि मैं बोला पानी में कूद जाते हैं. हाथ पैर मार के स्विमिंग सीख लेंगे. डूबने से तो अच्छा हाथ पैर मार लो.
Yeah. It's interesting because I'm sure that a lot of deep and meaningful conversations can be had around business and what people who are running the businesses are actually doing. That is, I feel, like a field in which very little information is currently available. There is a lot of jargon. There is a lot of like 10 ways to grow your business and 30 things you must do before you turn 50 and all these very clickbaity ideas.
Right.
But people who are actually doing the business, उनकी जिंदगी कैसी है, वो लोग क्या करते हैं, उनकी priorities क्या है, उनके challenges क्या है. If somehow through your podcast you can throw a light on those things, the real humans, and these need not even be like big companies, or they could even be like the sandwich wala ladies who are on the street who every day make sure that their small business is making profit. So what is the essence of business? What is the essence of entrepreneurship somewhere, especially in the context of India and Mumbai?
Right.
If your podcast can throw light on that, it will have hit bullseye.
So that was the core objective.
Absolutely.
I'll just give you a funny story. Yesterday itself we were discussing कि भाई स्टार्टअप आजकल बनाते हैं लोग, people make websites saying कि we want to help startup, but the websites are so complicated कि समझ में ही नहीं आता कि करता क्या है. बंदा अपने वेबसाइट पे लिखता है कि we are here to help startups, but the startups don't even know how are they going to help them.
Correct, exactly.
So that is
Unless they subscribe.
Yeah, unless they subscribe. Yeah, the best part is that.
Subscribe to know more.
Thank you for your time.
You're most welcome.
And really, I mean, really appreciate that you said yes. And it was such a short notice, and we could not actually believe that you said yes.
Arey, conversations are fun, whether there's a camera or not.
Yeah. बिना कैमरा के ज़्यादा अच्छा होता है.